Hey guys, thanks so much and welcome to the Game Your Future podcast. I'm Daniel, your coach, your podcast host. You're just helping gamers. And this is what we do here at Game Your Future. It's helping gamers realize their full potential through video games. I like to use video games as a teaching tool, and that's why I like to say I'm on the crazy mission to help a million business owners and professionals level up their lives, level up their careers through the use of gaming. And to help us today, we have somebody special for you guys today. This is Sean Winters. Sean is a IT specialist or it works in IT in the public sector, and it does support services for a city and has been doing so for 20 plus years. So quite the expert. So Sean, thank you so much and welcome.
All right, thanks for having me, Daniel.
Absolutely. So wanted to understand a little bit about the support services because I heard you are also a gamer. Right. And we like to talk about, of course, games and life and how that kind of intertwines. But so tell us a little bit about kind of what you do on kind of the IT services in the public sector. I think people understand IT, but what does that mean, especially in the public sector?
Well, in the public sector, there are a lot of things that people take for granted. Um, you get your water bill in the mail or electronically, or your traffic lights, or your public safety employees, your police officers, your firefighters. There are different infrastructures and systems they use. There are different devices that they have to be maintained, and somebody behind the scenes has to keep all that stuff working. So me and my team kind of that's pretty much what we do. We keep the hardware and software working and talking together to keep the city running, basically.
That's and very important too. That's for those that know some of my background. I worked for a big Fortune 500 company that actually worked. It was public company, but one of our customers was state and local governments. Because you mentioned, police, fire, EMS, right? We did like the big the walkie-talkie radios, right? So
Yeah.
not the little walkie-talkies by at Walmart, like the big brick ones that you could
Yes.
throw at somebody. So absolutely, so really cool to connect with somebody that actually is familiar with some of that side of it, as far as just kind of understanding the backbone of some of the infrastructure there. So very cool. Very fun. So I also wanted to talk about kind of the gamer side of things, right? So you mentioned you're a gamer. How long have you been playing games? What kind of games do you enjoy?
Daniel, I'll be a little transparent. Next month, I'll be 46.
Mhm.
So I've been playing games for 40 years. So I started out, my first memories of gaming are the Atari 2600. Um, Pitfall, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Asteroids, Phoenix, River Raid. I don't know, I'm showing my age, but um, then we get to the NES, Super NES, and it just goes on. But I've been playing for a long time. I play a little some of everything. I don't do much as far as like strategy, tactical, turn-based, but pretty much anything else I've dabbled or invested a bit of time in doing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love it because that's kind of where I'm coming from. So just date myself, right? So I guess what am I now? I'm like 43, and so I started. I think Atari. What's the other one? 5200.
Yeah.
And it parents I think ended up giving that one away because we got the Nintendo, we got the NES,
Yep.
and for those watching, that's the one, literally the one sitting behind me right here.
It is. Yeah.
Yep. And so that's played hours and hours of that one. So definitely there with you. And as far as I love the variety of games too that you play because I feel like I'm the same way. I do I think everything, all the genres I've like dabbled or spent way too much time in. I would say except for sports and racing games. And I guess
Yeah.
that, and I guess in my head that was like, well, I could go watch sports or I could play sports or I could, drive a car. So
Same.
so
Same. Yeah. I
it's
don't.
like so
Um.
those kind of things like, oh, I can do that in real life, but when do you get the chance to blow up asteroids? When can you fly spaceships? When can you shoot magic or slay dragons, right? So
Right.
that always appealed to me more on the gaming side.
Same. Same. And the guys in the office that talk about games. It's always Madden or 2K or Call of Duty. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but I'm trying to, get out of reality for a second. Just little turn your brain off, go do something mindless or something involved, but still a break from reality. Again, I drive every day. I drive enough, and if I wanted to go outside and throw the ball, I could. But
Yep.
yeah, so yeah, same.
Yeah, so it completely get it because it's that sense of we mentioned kind of escape, right? And that's kind of what it is. They take that break from reality to kind of decompress and do something. Yeah, sometimes it's even like to I'll even argue that it's sometimes it's to engage our mind differently or more to
Yes,
say that, we want to have something like much more fun, interesting, and kind of wild in that sense, where as a break from the routine or the mundane of potentially the work or life that's going on outside, right? Because I know there's a lot of people that'll work that and I'm not sure how it is for you like in the public sector, but I know like for myself, I'll speak that you come home from the day, it's just like you just been doing the same routine, right? It's just and maybe it's just answering emails. Like, wow, I answered like 400 emails today. I didn't feel like I got a lot done, but I guess I answered a lot of emails, and I'm like, I just need something more interesting than email.
definitely. Funny story. This was years and years ago, back when I was a newlywed. I had just started a new job. I just got married, just started a new job, and the job was a job. Hey, we're newlyweds. I need to make. I'm working at a company. We're rebuilding cell phones. It's tedious. From like dawn. 6 o'clock in the morning, and I come home and my wife thinks that, baby, are you okay? It's like, baby, I just need a minute, and I would play. I think it was Devil May Cry 3.
Hmm.
Just to look, I just need to slay some demons for a while. I'm literally battling my demons. Give me an hour and a half, and I'm good. And once she saw that, she's like, okay, I get it. Do your thing. That's helping you. So yeah,
It is. It's like therapeutic in a way to be like.
absolutely.
So completely understand. So I think a lot of people, and I'll call it society in general,
Mm.
right? Where they'll look at it to say, yeah, this kind of unhealthy level of escapism or just this detached from reality. So what is it that's helped you when we're talking about this kind of, like you come home, you play for maybe it's just an hour and a half just to kind of rebalance yourself. So what really helped you kind of keep it to that level and not kind of go down maybe a rabbit hole that society thinks that people do as far as and maybe some extreme do as far as like getting lost in games.
Well, I think what's helped is over time, especially you can tell the last few years, gaming is perceived a little bit differently. You go back 50 years, 100 years, people said the same thing about people who read too much. Um, my wife could come home and read a book for 2 hours, and baby, that's her escapism. Everyone has something that they like to do that helps them. Everyone's palate is different, everyone's tastes are different. So I think either the world is skewing its well, maybe in the positive direction, their understanding of what gamer mentality is, or maybe as I've gotten older, I just really don't care what other people think. It could be a balance. I'm not sure, but as far as keeping it at a healthy level, gaming is like anything else. Gaming is like eating, sleeping. Um, you do enough to balance yourself out. You can oversleep, you can undersleep. You can overeat, you can starve yourself. As far as what your mind needs for different types of engagement, if you starve yourself, it'll drive you crazy. But if you dive headlong into it, you end up, missing, sleeping too late, or I don't know, show up late to work because, oh wait, a new game just dropped and I'm playing until 6 in the morning. Um,
I,
Moderation.
been
Uh,
been there myself too. That's
Yeah. Now, if I know it's coming out, hey, all of a sudden I may come down with the stomach bug for a day or two, and get that out of my system, and I feel better.
Yeah,
And
I've straight up taken vacation days, like when what was it, Zelda, like Breath of the Wild came out. I was like, well, I'm taking like 2 3 days of vacation, but like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, nowhere.
hey, you said Breath of the Wild, and I see your Master Sword on the wall back there, and the shirt,
But,
obviously.
yep,
Um, Funny story. Well, not funny. I can laugh at it now, but a
yeah.
few years ago, I had a kind of out of the blue sickness. I was actually pretty sick for a while. Um, and when I got out of the hospital, I was looking forward to it. Breath of the Wild had just come out. Um, so I left. the emergency, not the emergency room. I left the hospital. Went by the store, picked up a copy of Breath of the Wild, and I was out of work for a couple of months. Well, I was on sick leave for a couple of months, but it actually got me through a rough spot. Breath of the Wild got me through a rough spot.
And that's there you go. That's the power of games right there. And
Absolutely.
what was it about the game that really helped you, I guess, connect? Was it just keeping your mind active, or how would you describe it?
Well, it kept my mind active. It kept me from thinking about um, my health and everything. I mean, actually, my health was on the upswing. I was getting better, but still, as we get older, we have adult responsibilities we have to think about, and sometimes you don't want to think about that. It's like, hey, look, I can disconnect for a minute. I can go explore some stuff, learn some stuff about this while I'm thinking about stuff about myself. Also, because of the kind of game it is, you can play it however you want to play it. You can explore, you can go fight, you can learn recipes, you can, look for new weapons, um, or you can just go find a spot to just look out at the scenery.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm a big Zelda fan. I have not played Tears of the Kingdom yet because I haven't actually found the time to get a Switch. My son has one, my daughter has one. I haven't had time to actually get one for myself, but I'm working on that. Um, but again, just the way the game is structured, it lends itself towards escapism. Um, and people don't really, well, I think like-minded individuals like us, we do appreciate the value of what escapism can do for your mental health, your physical health. It and I could probably talk at length about it, but it got me through a rough spot, and I have the greatest respect for the Zelda franchise as a whole.
Awesome. That's yeah, fantastic how much gaming can help. And I love the story. Just even Breath of the Wild, because it's such a big game,
It
but
is.
it's such a and we call them open world for a reason. But having that ability to kind of do what you want, right? To
Right.
really explore the space too, and like kind of the game mechanics, right? Because I everyone I've talked to who's played Breath of the Wild has always played it different.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody plays it the same way. Like the order of things that you do, where you go, what you get, and like who prioritizes what.
Right.
Because that's some people really. I was definitely kind of the more explorer, where like I tried to fill in and get as many of the shrines and get as many of the teleport points as I could as quickly
Yeah.
as possible, just because
Right.
it's like that way I can go wherever I want whenever I need it, right?
Right.
And some people are very like story focused. They're like, well, the story takes me here. This is where I'm going. And you're like, that's you. That's however you want to play it, right?
That's valid. And again, it's just it's subjective. So hey, your way of playing isn't wrong. Neither is mine.
Exactly. That's what I love about that for gaming is that every way that everyone plays is the right way.
Right.
So
Exactly.
and then so taking it out of the game. I love the idea of like how it helps with like the mental and physical health aspect of it. And one of the things I love to promote on this podcast too is even the intangibles as far as like the skills that you can bring with you outside of the gaming.
Right.
Because you learn a lot through gaming that I think a lot of people don't realize. So I wanted to kind of see on your perspective, your experience, like what is it about games and maybe even if there's another Zelda example there, that would be fun. But what has gaming helped you do outside of gaming?
Oh goodness. Well, I think it depends on the kind of gamer you are. Myself personally, I've never been really big into Souls likes, but I do like a challenge.
Hmm.
And I think if you let yourself be challenged in a game, you don't mind challenges in real life. Um, I think if you have the mindset of being open to challenge, you don't see things as difficult. You see them as challenging, and that could be, it could be as simple as waiting for a train in traffic. I know some people that would drive them crazy, but it's like no. You see, I look at it as endurance. It's like okay,
Hmm.
how long can I wait for this train before I lose my mind and turn and make a U-turn? Or how long can I stand in line behind someone at the grocery store and just maintain my peace? It's like, you know what? This is not that challenging. I can get through this. This is a piece of cake. Um, I'll tell you. Um, I think I remember we rescheduled this the first time, and life happened, and I couldn't make it. But I remember in the survey it asked about my favorite game, and there's too many to name, but one that comes
Mhm.
to mind is God of War, the 2018 and Ragnarok. Um, that I mean, the gameplay is awesome, the story is incredible, and especially I think as a dad,
Mm.
and what that story does as a dad is like it 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 tells a story of, yeah, he's a guy, but he's also a father, and he's look, he can do a lot of stuff, but fatherhood is still difficult for him. Um, Funny story, and it's actually helped me to bring illustrations into parenting. Um, I'm not sure how familiar you are with God of War 2018.
That one I have not played yet, would you believe? But I've so not
Yeah,
familiar with that one, but yeah, played several of the God of Wars before that.
yeah.
But yeah.
And I was hesitant because the gameplay is different, the visual style is different. But once I
Mhm.
got into it, it's like, you know what, I dig it. There is, without without spoiling anything, there is an optional end game boss.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just 7 years later. So she's the Valkyrie Queen. You beat all the other Valkyries, you can fight the Valkyrie Queen. And my son actually watched me fight her, and she's difficult, but not impossible. And even there, there's a teachable moment. My son watched me. I know it took me 40 tries, and it's like through each iteration. No, I didn't lose my cool. I didn't throw my controller. It's like, okay, where did we mess up? Where am I failing? Okay, let's go back and try it again. And some things you figure out. You know what? If I see where I'm losing or failing is not a bad thing as long as you learn from it. Um,
That's powerful. Yep.
hey, look, you don't get to have this bald hair and bald head and a little gray hair without picking up something. Um,
There you go.
and and my son was watching me, and I finally beat her. He's like, "Whoa!" I was like, "That's right, kid. Look, it wasn't easy, was it? But we did it.
Mhm.
And didn't lose our cool. Um, and you feel a sense of pride from it, even if it's just a game. Like, no, that's not just a game, but um, there's that's one of the many ways that I can say that um, you can bring the game from the screen into life as far as the things that you can take away from it.
That's huge because, and I've heard that, and I love that adage, and I have one of the, I'll call it the mantras, I guess I live by, right? Is the failure is not the end, right?
Right,
Failure is not bad, like you said, if it's used for learning, right?
right,
Failure is a teaching tool. And so I like to say, and I think the mantra is failure is not the opposite of success.
right.
Failure is the path to success.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, that one really stuck with me because it's like, oh, if you want to succeed, you're gonna have to try, and you'll probably fail, and almost guaranteed you'll fail, right? Because nobody gets it perfect the first time,
Right,
right? That's and I love the even the comparison to like growing up, like or we talk being a dad, having kids, right? And the kid's learning to walk for the first time. He's not going to learn how to walk the very first time he stands up.
right,
It's going to take a few tries. It's going to take many tries. But never as the parent would we ever say, "Oh, well, you tried 3 or 4 times. You're never going to walk. Sorry, kid."
right. Exactly.
Like, no, they're going to try until they succeed. And sometimes it is that endurance, which I think is another huge one. So, and I think on this podcast, I've said, so it's endurance and resilience is the word I like to use too, where gamers, we understand that the game over screen is not actually the end. You just hit continue or you hit try
Right,
again.
right,
And you have to keep trying because eventually you will succeed because gamers know that you can beat the game and it can be hard, but you know that there's a way to beat it and you can just you have to learn and practice and then you can finally get to it.
right,
It's unfortunate. I think a lot of people when they go out into life, into the world where the biggest open world game of all to say like, where do I go? Like how do I succeed? And they'll try a few times and then stop.
right,
And it's like, well, you learned, and like you said, like, in a game, you're going to keep going. You have the endurance to keep going. And taking that skill into life is just so important. So I love that.
Absolutely. Um, there are, I talk to my employees and my kids about the same thing. Is like, there is a huge difference between difficult and impossible. Um, Anything that's difficult is doable. It may
Mm.
be hard, but you can do it. Impossible, yeah, there are some things that are impossible, but a lot of things are doable, but it's going to take some effort. It's going to take some doing, but you can do it.
And that's what word choice and words are powerful, right? Because there is, yeah, there's a huge difference between impossible and just really, really effing hard.
Right. Right.
It's like they're
Um,
not the same thing. Right?
they're not, and and you know your strengths. Again, like I could, I know that I could get through some Souls likes if I wanted to, and there's some I've tried, even like some side scroller, like Blasphemous. It's not a Soul, it's more of a Metroidvania, but it's a harder Metroidvania. But I
Mm.
enjoyed it. But um, I don't know. I think as I get older, I don't think I've lost patience. I think I recognize my limitations. Like, you know what? I know that I can play this and enjoy it without getting frustrated. But if my frustration exceeds the fun, I'm gonna stop. And that's an
Yeah.
important lesson too. It's like, hey, fun and frustration can go hand in hand, but there's a sweet spot.
Yeah, and that's I'm there with you too because I think you play games. Yeah, I like to play games to have fun, to
Yeah.
relax, to or just to have that sense of excitement or enjoyment for whatever I'm doing.
Mhm.
And the moment it gets frustrating, especially too frustrating, like I say, games can be difficult and hard and challenging. So you might have a little frustration there. Okay,
Mhm.
but yeah, like you say, if you get to the point you're throwing the controller across the room, it's like, "Ooh, maybe that's when we stop.
Right.
Like maybe stop before that.
Well, hopefully so.
Hopefully before that.
Controllers are expensive.
Yes, and they've only gotten more so.
Yeah.
They put all the technology in them. It's like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Throwing a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo controller. I never really did that either, but like,
No,
you can't imagine like, now you throw like the the
it's 80
PlayStation 4
bucks.
controller and you're like, ooh, that has more stuff in it.
Yeah, that's 80 bucks, 100 bucks. No,
You're
but
like,
you set it down gently and then go
and
sit in
punch
the
a pillow.
corner or
There you
something.
go.
Yeah.
That's right. So guys, don't throw your controllers across the room. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
set it down gently, punch a pillow, do something, but like
There you go.
the controller. Oh, it's too good. So I wanted to talk. I guess following that kind of logic of the gaming as the kind of using your skills, having that kind of level of endurance. What else, or is there any other skill that you've noticed that's really helped you in particular? Saying being a gamer with your and maybe in IT, there's probably more gamers in that kind of a area. But have you noticed as compared to your peers, like, what have you succeeded more or is more natural maybe for you as a gamer?
Um, I think being able to approach um certain tasks or situations more open-mindedly. If you go in thinking this is hard or this is going to be difficult, then you may already subject yourself to, you may go in unintentionally setting your difficulty level too high. If you already see, oh, I got a meeting with so and so, I'm not going to like this. Or I got to go and take inventory of this. Like, no, you see it as anything else. This is a challenge, it's a task list, and we're going to knock it out. Um, I think being a gamer, you can be more open minded. You can be, you can almost look forward to a challenge as opposed to being
Yeah.
discouraged by it. I don't think we're quite as easily discouraged just because something's a little challenging, or even if it's tedious or menial. It's like, no, um, you can look at, I don't know, let's say you have to inventory a couple of hundred boxes or whatever. It's like, you know what? This is a task list and we're getting closer to an end. It's almost like collectibles. We're gonna knock this out. We're gonna get it done, and that'll be one achievement done.
Yep, you hit it square on the head because that's something that I focus on and that I help people with too. Is basically you're talking about gamification at that point
Yes,
to say like how can we make the tasks, how can we make life work, whatever, more interesting, more engaging, more fun by adding these kind of gaming elements on it, right? Instead of just like tasks to be done, now it's a quest, now it's achievements, and being able to check those off to say, yeah, this is how I can move forward, or this is how I can get done, or be done with my workday, like, and whatever the goal is, right? And
Right.
rewarding yourself along the way. I think it's so huge. So love that.
Well, again, if you don't pick up something along the way, then I think you wasted a little bit of your time. But um, again, I think that there's something else that we tend to do a little more readily is look for the fun. We tend to look for the level up. We tend to look for, hey, how can this improve me as a character? Even if you see yourself as a character, then hey, this this will boost my stats here. Even if I don't like it, this can help me in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I think gamers we see that especially in like the role playing kind of games or the adventure games like that's even more readily apparent to say like, all right, well if I take the time now to do this annoying one thing, it'll benefit me way more later. Right. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So we're not driven by the I'll call it the unfortunate side effect of kind of the Wall Street and corporate public corporations where it's like, well, you got to make the quarter.
Mm.
We got to have the sales. I was a part of that, and it's just like, all right. It's like, all right, what are we going to do for next quarter? It's like, well, that's next quarter's problem. We'll worry then. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I before I was in the public sector, I was in I was a specialist in retail. I was a kitchen designer for a while, and before that, I was a technician at a certain big blue and yellow box store.
Aha.
Yeah. Um, and there were times when I was, they would try to pull me into being on the more management side. It's like, no, no, no. I've overheard those meetings. I'll decline. I'll just politely decline the opportunity because,
Yep.
again, trying to I understand trying to hit these numbers, sure, but when you're in the front end and you know your customer base, I recognize that this group of customers isn't going to actually go for this, however you pitch it to them. So I'll just politely decline. I'll let you worry about that. I'll stay in my lane.
Yep. And that's the sad thing about that is that it tries to force certain sales and then it kind of and the whole point of it is that it shoots yourself in the foot for later, right? So like, all right, we're gonna give up on the long term because we need the short term right now. I'm just like,
Right.
so unfortunate. I know that's a whole nother topic we could get into, but
Yeah, it is.
and
But
maybe we'll save that for another time. But
sure. Hey, let me know. We'll jump
yeah,
on it.
absolutely. But yeah, as we wind down this particular episode, I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. So is there anything that Sean that maybe we've missed or anything that you wanted to share with the audience?
Um, I think it's been a great conversation. It's good to know that there are like-minded individuals who we don't see gaming as a childish endeavor, but it's a tool and also a pastime that can actually be beneficial in myriad ways that we really can't even quantify. I mean, because again,
Yeah.
we could go a whole lot longer than half an hour just talking about, hey, how has gaming helped you? But um, I would say that you know what, I'll close out my sentiment with this. My grandfather used to say that life is too serious to take it so seriously. You got to make time to have fun. And
Yeah.
like you said, with gamification, you can take something tedious and make it fun just for peace of mind.
Exactly right. I love that. And that is, oh my God, I got to remember this quote. So, life is too serious to take it too seriously.
Yes,
That's fantastic.
yeah. My grandfather
Well,
was a smart man.
I believe it. That's a really good quote. I'm gonna have to try to remember that. Good. Oh, so much fun. So, gosh, thank you so much, Sean. Thank you for being here. This has been just a great, fun conversation, and I would love to do it again. And so, guys, definitely comment below, comment and send me notes. Just if you would love to hear more from Sean and just kind of go deeper into this as far as like how gaming helps. Like it's a great topic, and I would love to explore more. So, guys, let me know. And Sean, again, thank you for being here. This has been
Hey,
fantastic.
been a pleasure.
Great, great. All right, guys. And if you're interested in yourselves as far as like going into that and understanding how gamification can help you and kind of pulling out those gaming skills right into real life. Definitely check out my website, Daniel. That's a different one. DragonmoreXP.com and start your journey with me there. There we go. And really it is again, it's about taking these gaming skills out of the game into real life, leveling up your personal, professional lives, whether you're a business owner, professional. I've helped many people in using this core element of gamification to really make everything much more fun and engaging. So, guys, this has been so much fun. Again, thank you, Sean, for being here. Fantastic. And, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.